Hey guys, and welcome to Dog Talk Live with Michael J. Solar. I hope you enjoyed my pug playing the drums. This is an awesome, exciting episode that we have today because we are going to be making tons of announcements. So we got the new intro. I think this is really exciting to see the pug playing drums. So I thought you guys would enjoy that. And I really enjoyed the fact that they were getting ready to play an awesome song by Metallica. But we had to cut that off because it is time to rock and roll with some information. So just to kickstart everything else that we do. Hey guys, if you have questions, comments, anything below, please feel free to go ahead and throw it into your comment section because of the fact that it'll pop up and I'll be able to discuss this. I like this show to be an interactive show. So it's about Q&A, finding out good stuff, and obviously always learning about how to move forward in our lives with our dogs, building relationships, and experience life to its fullest. So this is Dog Talk, and this is exciting day. So if you guys watch me every week, if you're new to the show, I also have a show called Stuck in a Truck, and I tell people about being, going out of your way, becoming an expert and becoming somebody and something that you never thought possible. So I have to tell a little story about something that happened that coincides with everything that we do. This is a really fun and exciting thing that happened. So a friend of mine from back in the day, his name is Sean Anderson, had reached out to me. And Sean and I go back to the year 2005. Man, that's a long time. So 2005, when I worked at the Cecil County Detention Centers, where I met Sean, we became friends. We've talked for years. We've known each other, stayed in contact the entire time. Well, Sean's son Liam and Sean, they have a Anderson Racing. So what they do is they do go-kart racing, and he had reached out to me looking for a new sponsor this year. And because of all of you, Blue Line Canine is now in a position to do this. And little did I know that what Liam's Racing, or I should say Anderson's Racing, does is they fundraise. So they go around doing racetracks, fundraising for childhood cancer research. So they fundraise for this. So this is a really good honor of ours that Blue Line Canine is now going to be the main sponsor for the Anderson race team, calling it now. It's going to be called the Blue Line Canine race team. My son as well is going to be on the team. We're going to have 2 cars, and hopefully the team can grow. And I'm so happy to share this with you guys because I'm going to have Sean, Liam, their car, and everything of that in our show next week at the training center live. So next week's episode will be at the Blue Line Canine Training Center in Joppa. Next week, and you'll be able to see the car, meet Sean, meet his son Liam, and hear the story that got them into this and what got them into the fight and fundraising they're doing for childhood cancer. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's I really don't know how to explain it. It's an awesome honor because I've always enjoyed giving back. I truly believe that that when you travel in the road of success and you're traveling down this road, it is very important to always, reach down and help the next person up that ladder. It's very important to constantly give back to the people that are giving to you. And without doing that, you're going to fail. Hey, Graham. So when Sean reached out, and this is something I talk about on my episodes on Wednesday called Stuck in the Truck, we talk about people always going out of their way to, if you want something, go for it. And Sean reached out to me, and it didn't really take me much to say yes. When Sean explained to me what it was about, what he needed, I couldn't say yes fast enough. Honestly, the hardest thing was to be the responsible person and not to say yeah, absolutely. So it was the hardest thing was just obviously just saying yes. We did it obviously, but I had to do a little bit of research. So I look forward. I hope everybody watches next week's episode as we have Sean on with Liam, his son, and they get to tell you about their race team, what they've been doing, how they've been accomplishing it, and how they've grown. Now, with that being said, I'm not the only sponsor. So Blue Line Canine is not the only sponsor of this team, but it is really cool to know that as Blue Line Canine is growing and we're expanding, we're able to give back and continue to give back to different missions, childhood cancer, this race team, and so on and so forth. But I also want to give a shout out to the 3 other sponsors of the team, which is Elite Custom Gifts. And I believe their website is elitecustomgifts.com. They do laser engraved gifts, custom ideas. They're a great organization. I've used Chase myself for different different items. He does phenomenal work, so give him a shout. We have Alert Medic One. He's a podcast for medical professionals. And we have Kirby's Relic Recovery, who does lost metal finding. So, like, essentially, if you lose a precious medallion in your backyard or something like that, he can come out and recover it. So again, those are Kirby's Relic Recovery, Alert Medic 1, Elite Custom Gifts. Hey guys, thank you for being on the team. It's just awesome to see where we're going in the new year as a team. So this is really, really fun for me and exciting for me because of the fact that we were able to do so much. It's just amazing. So now we're going to get into some dog stuff. So yeah, so this is really, really cool. Yeah, I know I'm umming a lot because I'm really excited. This is just a great honor because we've been trying to give back to different things, different social stuff, cancer societies, fundraising, and doing it the right way. And now we finally had that opportunity to do it the right way. Getting kids out of their home, out of the video game thing, get them outside, get them doing different things, creating that environment that we all look for, camaraderie, team, family, community. This is so awesome. And I really couldn't imagine all of these things, but it's all because of you guys and trusting us and allowing us to be a part of your lives and building the relationships with your dog. So I want to say thank you for allowing us the opportunity to essentially give back to the community as well. So no further ado, let's get into some dog training. So again, the chat box are open. All you have to do is throw a comment below and we will get this conversation started. So let me tell you a little bit about what Blue Line Canine has going on. So a couple of things that we want to talk about is number one is socialization. We talked about this last week and we have decided that we're going to extend the free gift. So if you are struggling with socialization issues or anything of the sort, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the web link to get your free gift. It's our book on socialization, and you can check that out below. Use the code DogTalk101 as the checkout. It'll make the book for free. So it's a quick, easy socialization booklet because, again, as we are coming out of our homes, as we're coming out and we have all these puppy issues and we have dogs going crazy, socialization has not been proper. So we want to take our time, get our dogs used to real life. And in this booklet, it's going to give you those guidance tools. So that booklet is now for free on our store. Use the discount code DogTalk101. That's DOGTALK 101. That way you can go ahead and get that book for free. It is a good book to get yourself started because, again, we have to think about how our dogs are going to be reacting as we find ourselves going back to work, bringing them back outside as more people are coming outside, wearing masks and having those other issues. So that leads us into a couple of things that we've started doing. And this is one of my favorite things. So a couple of months ago, I had bought a school bus. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen that school bus. And what we are doing is we've created a Blue Line Canine Country Club. And how it works is we put together a little country club. And how it works is you pay your membership, you drop your dogs off. And what we do is we keep them trained all day long. So we get them physically stimulated. We're training service dogs now. We're doing physical fitness with your dog. We're doing scent orientation to get some puzzle games going on for their brains so they can work them out physically and mentally while they're with us. But my favorite part, now me personally, is my favorite part is the school bus. Now, yes, it is fun. I drive the school bus and we take your dog all around Hartford and Baltimore County into real life environments. So we get them socialized for you. We bring them to different environments to get them practice around chasing cars, walking through neighborhoods, walking down the block, walking through parks. So that way, when you take them out on your time, they've already been prepared. They've already been worked through it because we know that this is a rough time, with kids going to school in Zoom, some kids going back to school for certain hours, some kids doing different things. Everybody's found themselves in different positions. And what happens is our dogs wind up finding themselves as, second fiddle, third fiddle, fourth fiddle, and we forget that they really do need us, okay? And they really need to know the structure of the home. So most of the time we tend to forget that that's what's really important is the dog needs to know what time you're waking up, what time you're going to work, what time you're doing stuff. And that's where we tend to forget about them, right? And then we get frustrated when they're showing their frustration with our disconnect, our mess up in the day-to-day activities, right? So that's something that we never really pay attention to, but we have to think about while we're doing this. People that have had dogs for a long period of time, they'll know this, that a lot of times when they put their shoes on or get keys, their dogs, based on what pair of shoes on, the dogs know if they're going out or they know if they're not going out. right? So they know if they're going for the ride or they know if they're not going for the ride. They know if they're going for a walk, they know when they're not going for a walk. These are little things that your dog's paying attention to, right? So you only touch the leash, obviously, when you're taking your dog for a walk. So your dog has learned that the leash indicates them going for a walk. This is stuff that we don't really pay attention to because for the past few months, we have been locked in our homes working on computers. So now that we're starting to leave, the only time we were leaving before might have been when we were taking them for walks or might have been doing these things, and we're disconnecting what has happened. So our dogs have now learned these things and they're trying to figure out what the next step is. So now we have to remember, hey, we're going to go to work. We need to figure out our work routine. We need to take in consideration what and how much our dog's help is necessary. So when the dog needs us, how they need us, and that kind of structure. So this is a little thing I call dating your dog. All right. And it's important to think about this as we say what it is. We're calling it dating your dog because what you have to do is set up a time at least once a week that you date your dog. You take them out in the yard, you dedicate a game to them, you dedicate that time with them, and it doesn't matter the weather. That's the key here. It shouldn't matter the weather. If it's raining, snowing, sleeting, cold out, warm out, at bonfire night, your dog has to have something to look forward to so that way they're willing to sacrifice you to go back to work, your kids going to school. They were the ones looking forward to this. They enjoyed your time home. They enjoyed their anxiety lowered, their abilities to be comfortable lowered. All that kind of stuff was really good for them. And now all of a sudden you just walked out the door to go to work, they're left alone. So they're going to tend to be a little bit more on the over anxiety side. They're going to tend to chew your rug, be spiteful, be these things, because then when you come home, you're exhausted, you're tired. So then you feed them and you go to bed, you ignored them. You're not really doing much. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. You take them for a walk, right? That's going to be a physical thing. It's not a mental thing. They want something a little bit more from you. Give them a game of fetch. Give them a little scent training. Hide some treats. Tell them to go find them and make exciting about them. That's why we call it dating your dog, because we want you to realize it's about spending the direct one-on-one time with your dog. That's what builds the attention. Remember, your dogs will do anything for you. They strive for you. They live for you. They will die for you. They do everything in the world to make you happy. They literally look forward to only spending time with you. So the more and more and more that you find yourself ignoring your dog because you're busy, you're occupied and things like that, look, they don't need your attention every day of the week. They don't need the attention, all day long. They just want that little bit. So if my opinion is this, we do dog talk every night, Tuesday, 7 p.m. 8:30, we have Stuck in a Truck. I train dogs over here. I do this over there. A lot of people that follow me think that I'm all over the place. I'm doing tons of stuff. It's because of the strength and organization of it. Your dog wants the same structure. If you tell your dog every Thursday at 6 p.m., we're going to go wrestle and play fetch, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, your dog is going to look forward to Thursdays at 6:30. Or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., whatever time you set it as. They're going to love it. They're absolutely going to love it. And they will literally hold their energy back to be the most well-behaved dog for you at that timeline. So it's very easy stuff to do. Again, most people might be having kids now, and you're thinking about that aspect. How do we introduce babies to kids, or how do we get them used to it? This is called preparing. We already know that when you're bringing a baby home, right, you're going to have a bassinet, you're going to have a swing, you're going to have a car seat. My suggestion has always been, and I did this myself, I would literally used to carry my groceries in a car seat. So that way my groceries were put in the car seat. I carried the car seat into the house. The car seat went on the counter. I put away the groceries. My dog got desensitized to the car seat and stopped paying attention to the car seat, lost interest in it. And then all of a sudden we bring the kid home in it. The dog had zero interest in it. The other thing I did was I dated my dogs during this time when I was bringing my babies home. So that way the dog never felt that they were lacking the attention from me. They looked forward to my date night. So when I would go out in the yard and play with them, and they knew it was their time because I would wear a certain set of overalls at the time to go out and wrestle with them no matter what the weather was. So if it was sunny, I wore their overalls. If it was muddy, I wore their overalls. This way my dog knew those overalls meant we were going in the yard and we were going to wrestle and we were going to play. So again, these are little things that we don't realize, but this is all a part of teaching your dog the habits of life. It's getting them properly socialized. It's getting them used to things. Dogs aren't used to people wearing masks. When you wear a mask, you're taking away the ability for the dog to read some of your thoughts, emotions, and stuff like that. So Another thing I suggest is, since mask wearing is still, going to, outdoors a lot. So if you're bringing your dogs out, one of the things that I really suggested to a few of my clients this week is to walk through shopping centers with your dog, getting them used to people. You don't really need them to pet your dog or give them treats, but they do need to get used to people wearing their mask. You can wear your mask at home, so your dog starts to get desensitized to the image of wearing a mask. But again, these are little things. So when we think about how we can help you as Blue Line Canine, and us, Raleigh, all the locations, we have different things going on. We have our membership with the Canine Country Club now, with the bus trips, with physical fitness, with scent work and service dog training, which is really, really cool because that is done through a membership program. So you purchase your membership and you can just keep bringing your dog back, and that gets you even discounts on overnight facilities and stuff like that. So in case you haven't heard, Blue Line Canine is now at the Bow Wag Pet Resort. So we are now expanding here in Harford County to the Bow Wag Pet Resort, offering even more services, hence the discounted rates for grooming and discounted discounts on overnight care. So we're able to expand this to all of our clients. So what is the benefits of some of these things? Well, one, we get to practice with your dog in real life scenarios. So we get to work your dog in real life. So we get to bring them to different places. This is what the bus trip is for. We get proper socialization while you're at work. We're able to get your dog into different activities. We're able to work them mentally and physically. Now, this is a key, mental and physical. So I know there's some people watching here. So again, if you guys have questions, you can throw them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. But what we found going on a lot lately is that dogs are getting worked out physically, but not mentally, or mentally, but not physically. So I have had to explain this to a lot of clients is like this. If you know somebody that works on a computer all day, and I guarantee you most of my listeners right now are going to understand this. If you've been on a Zoom call all day and you haven't worked out, you haven't exercised, you haven't anything, and then suddenly somebody comes up to you and starts talking, what happens? You start getting frustrated with the conversation. You don't want to talk. You're exhausted. That is mental strain. The funny part about it is you can't sleep, and then you start having anxiety, and your brain starts thinking crazy stuff because you didn't physically work out. You mentally worked out. You were on the computer. You were Googling. You were Zooming. You were Facebooking, I guess. You were doing everything under the sort mentally, but not physically. So your physical muscles were not worn out. So you're adding calories because you're now gaining weight. Your brain is going a million miles per minute, but you're not burning those calories off. So you're mentally exhausted. So if somebody said, hey, let's go for a run, you're like, hell no, I ain't going. Well, that happens to your dog too. If they're having anxiety trying to figure out what you're doing and how you're doing things, they are being mentally exhausted, but they're not physically exhausted. If you say, hey, I'm going to take my dog for a walk, you're not physically exhausted and you're building up stamina and endurance because you're not wearing them down. And if you take them for a really long walk, well, Mike, I can take them for a 5-mile walk. They come back tired. Yeah, they also built up their stimulant and everything else, but most of the time they weren't mentally stimulated because they already know your walk. So they know where all your neighborhood dogs are. They know where the neighborhood cats are. They know where the neighborhood squirrels are. They know where all those things are. And again, it becomes a ritual, so it becomes less mental straining on your dog. So now your dog is physically exhausted, but not mentally exhausted. That would cause your dog to possibly have aggressive or erratic behavior changes in their day-to-day, right? So when we think about that kind of stuff, you have to bring in that balance where dating your dog is one of those things that you can do. If you don't have the time to date your dog, you can talk to us. Give us a shout out at BLK9MD. You can go to our website, BlueLineCanine.com, or give us a call at 1-800-266-2365. We'd be happy to discuss different options that we have with our new membership country club program to keep your dog stimulated while you're at work or in school all day. But you want to look at that kind of stuff. So Shannon says, we start the day with a walk. Does letting her stop and smell things along the way help her with stimulating mentally? So that's a great question. So the question, I'm going to read it verbatim for everybody. We start the day with a walk. Does letting her stop and smell things along the way help her with stimulating mentally? Well, there's a twofold to that. One is that the more you stimulate your dog in the same walk, the big question, Shannon, would be is, are you doing the same walk? So if I come out of my house and I make a left turn, all right, and I walk around the same block the same amount of times, what your dog's doing is essentially smelling and marking. So the only thing your dog's really doing is letting everybody, all the other animals in the area know that territory is hers. So after a while, the stimulation does drop because the dog is no longer stimulated, is now going into a predatorial thing of territory. I'm marking my territory. I'm knocking it in, saying it's mine. So one of the things you can do, and that is one of my favorite things, is that I do like I call the pendulum walk, where I come out of my house, I go left, I go up one house, I turn around, I go past my house, I pass my other neighbor's house, I make a U-turn, and I start going back and forth. So my dogs never actually know when I'm going home. We're still getting the steps in. I'm going to walk the mile, 2 miles, 3 miles without actually having to go the 2, 3, 4 miles from my house, because my step counting is going to happen as I pendulum back and forth up and down the block. And because my dog doesn't know what's going on, meaning that when we're going to turn home, because it can change every time, and then we have to pass our house multiple times, I'm doing a couple of things. Number one is I'm stimulating my dog because we're creating an unknown, right? So now it becomes a game. The second thing that's going on is we're teaching the dog to focus on us, which is also keeping the walks proper and losing that ability to pull the leash. So Shannon also adds, it's the same area, but I try to change the other side of the street or a little further to zigzag more. That's good. Yeah, constantly change it up, right? So like anything else, right? If we only eat Cheerios every day of the week, we get bored. If we only do certain things all the time, we're going to get bored of it. Well, your dog is the same. So yes, Shannon, that's good. You change it up, you zigzagged. That's really good. Keeping it changed up. So another funny thing you could do is, again, sometimes it's hard. Even like my pattern, I'm zigzagging back and forth, right? What you could do is you flip a coin, and sometimes you take your dog to a different area to walk. Then you let them smell. Obviously, that's going to give them different odors, different things. It's going to mentally stimulate them again. Taking them to the Avenue in White Marsh, the North Street in Habity Grace, Washington Street. Washington Street, where you can see all the different stores. And it's a very dog-friendly town, by the way. Whoever's watching this, if you live or travel to Habity Grace, it's a very, 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 very dog-friendly town. And if you walk Washington Street, there's cute little stores. They have typically, a lot of the owners will put water out for your dogs, and some have treats for your dogs. So in case you're looking for something that would be good stimulant and let you get out of the house, you guys really should check out Habity Grace. Really nice stores: the Teal Antler, Unlimited Art, the State Room, ice cream polish, coffee, the corner stores. There's a bunch of different stuff down there. It's really, really nice, cute little town. And again, getting out there and doing those things to stimulate him. So Shannon, you're definitely on point with it, getting him stimulated. But again, another funny thing that you can try would be is when you come home, you have all your dog's toys put away. So when you come home from the walk, that's when you can play a game with your dog, or you can hide some treats and have them find the treats, right? So that's another really fun activity that you can do with your dog, playing hide and seek with the treats, getting them different things like that. Jamie adds, the trails are great in Habity Grace for dogs as well. So that's a great point. Yes. Taking them on the trail walks, there's different odors, there's different things. These are great avenues. And again, it's getting you out. It's keeping you physically fit. It's keeping your dog physically fit. It's building the bond. Your dogs will look forward to these activities with you. And that's where the dating comes in. That's where that relationship is really circling back and getting it locked in. So for our Raleigh area clientele, you name some spots in that area that you guys can take your dogs, so that way we can pass it on for other people that didn't know. Obviously, so it'd be great to bring them in. But these are little things that we can think about, that you can put your dog into these avenues and get them where you need them to do. It gets them socialized to different events. But like I said, a biggest thing is to change it up. I normally would tell you to get 3 or 4 different paths that you really enjoy walking with your dog, and don't do them every day. Switch them up. And how I normally switch them up is with either a coin toss, where I name 2 locations. Heads is one place, tails is another. So that way it becomes a game of chance. Neither me or my dog can determine where we're going. The other thing that we can do is I call it the game of cards. And I normally do it when I'm teaching obedience to my dog. I write down different cues that I'm teaching, and I put them on index cards, and I shuffle the cards up. So then that way what happens is this, as I'm teaching a consistent behavior to a cue, which is the command. So I'm teaching sit. I could be working sit down, sit, stay, sit in a kitchen, sit on a living room, sit outside by distractions. And these are all written down on different index cards. And then what I do is I shuffle the cards so I don't know what my training session with my dog is going to be or that play session is going to be, because the cards are what predicts how I'm going to teach that session with my dog. So this is a really good way of being consistently inconsistent to create consistency. And you're like, what did Mike just say? I know. What did I say? Consistently inconsistent to create consistency. You need to be consistent on how you teach, but inconsistent in a pattern so you can create consistent behavior. What? I know. It sounds weird, but it's true. In order to make sure that your dog will listen to every cue and give you the right behavior and all the things that you're wanting to do, you have to be consistent in how you teach it. But you don't want to be consistently teaching it the same way every time. Meaning, don't do sit, down, roll over, handshake, back up to a stand. Because then when you say sit to your dog will sit, down, roll over, give you a handshake, then whatever else your drill is. That's called a dance routine, not a cue. So you want to make sure that you break it up. So consistently inconsistent creates consistency. How do you do it? Again, I'm going to teach sit no matter where I'm teaching sit the same exact way. So no matter what I change, it's still going to be the same sit cue, and I'm going to be consistent with my dog. The next is going to be that I'm going to change up the pattern in where I teach it and how I teach it. So if I might work on a sit to down or a down to sit, but then the next session, because of the way the cards come out, I might be working on a sit stay, or I might work only on a down to an up or sit to an up, right? To a stand position. And because of the fact that I can't predict this, my normal lazy humanness doesn't affect my dog. So that way, when I'm doing all this training, my dog shows consistency with my inconsistency to create consistent behavior, which is what you're looking for in your dog, right? You can't predict every time somebody comes in the house. You don't know what they're wearing, colognes and all this other stuff. So you have to prepare for that. And by preparing for that is that you change the way you're doing it every time. But the pattern of how it's taught is the same. So I hope this, I know it sounded really weird and really long-winded, but I'm sure it clicked in most of your minds. And I see some people have said yes, which is the major cue, because yes is the emotional grab to get your dog's attention all the time, right? Heck, even my Sam above my head got excited when I said yes, because yes is the only cue word that you're ever going to say that's totally emotionally cued, right? Nobody can be like, yes, without smiling. It's nearly impossible, but you can say good or okay without smiling. It's really weird. It's very bad. It's because we use them in negative context, but we don't use the word yes. So that is the total key thing that you want to do here. So as time is coming to an end for our show, and I hope everybody really did enjoy Dog Talk, and I hope you all tune in next week for when we have Liam and Sean on the show. I'm really excited about it because honestly, I love giving back to the community, and I truly love rewarding people that step outside of their box and go for it. Because I always tell people there's only one thing that can happen when you go for it, and that's that you get it. That's the truth. Nobody can ever stop your success if you go for it. And nobody can ever stop the results you're going to get with your dog as you put that time in. So again, guys, listen, Blue Line Canine, we are expanding. And it's all because of you guys. So we are looking for trainers. We are looking for more people. So if you guys are interested in becoming trainers, we are or interested in opening your own Blue Line Canine location, hit us up. We are ready to rock and roll. We have a Train the Trainer boot camp starting up on the 19th. I'm really excited about it. We have 3 new trainers coming in. This is really exciting. We've teamed up to open the Blue Line Canine Country Club at the Bow Wag Pet Resort. So that's really, really awesome. I cannot wait for everybody to jump on this because we're going to have a membership program teaching scent work, service dog training, field trips for your dog where they're going on bus trips to work on all these weird behaviors and work on socialization. This is so many cool things. And because of all this awesome stuff, and I love giving things away as much as I possibly can, we're still offering the $500 off for our Stay and Train program until December 31st. So we extended it, and that goes for all Blue Line Canines. So all Blue Line Canines across the board will be giving $500 off for our Stay and Train programs until December 31st. So if you are going for it, this is the time. Put the deposit in, lock it in. You do not have to get your dog trained during that time period, but you do have to schedule it during that time period to get the $500 off. So this is a great opportunity to do that. So again, bus trips, field trips, memberships. We got it all. This is awesome. And it's all because of you guys. So remember, we are here every Tuesday night. Tomorrow I'll be stuck in the truck at 8:30 in the morning. If you guys miss any of these episodes, or if you want to tell your friends and family that they want to check us out in case they missed the episode, they can go to blk9tv.com. Again, it's blk9tv.com to rewatch any episode of Stuck in a Truck, Dog Talk, tips and tricks. Also, we're going to be listing all of our future locations on there, so they have playlists on different training tips from all the different trainers. So, guys, till next week. Any questions, thoughts, concerns, or any topics that you might want, go ahead and send us a message. Email us at traininginfo@bluelinek9.com. Again, that's traininginfo@bluelinek-9.com. I'll see you all, guys, next week if I don't see you tomorrow for Stuck in a Truck. All right. Let me see if I get my drummer. There you go.